All right, here we go. Sunday night, feeling all right. How's everybody doing? It is Sunday night Klooby snack time, and hopefully Abby will join me shortly. But this is, in my opinion, it's a special night tonight because it is. Here we go. All right, there we
I'm
go.
sorry. Wait, let me turn my lights
All
on.
right,
I was doing my essay.
you're doing
I have an
your
essay
what?
due at 9 in the morning on computer literacy. So I was.
Well, hey. School's number one, right?
True.
But this is a very special night. I'm gonna jump her in right away, right?
Oh my
Izzy, how are
goodness.
you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
All right. Sunday night, Klooby snack time, feeling all right. This is awesome. All right. First of all, I'm always excited on Sunday night because I get to see my daughter FaceTime. How are you?
Hi.
All right. And this is what we imagined ourselves into, right? We've known for over a year that it was going to be this way, right?
Yep.
But for 30 something, 30 something Klooby snacks, you were here living underneath this room, this roof, and now you're in New York.
Yep.
How has your week been? Start us off.
My week has been pretty good. I had a lot of stuff to do, so it was kind of like stressful, but it's been good. And I got to spend a lot of time with my friends. I'm with my friends right now, but they're both doing homework. Yeah. And I booked a trip to Barcelona. So that's exciting. Going to Barcelona in 2 weeks. That's my update. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, this is interesting. I mean, I don't want to deviate too much from what our agenda is, which is Klooby snacks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yet here we go. It's exciting because like you're an adult now, right? Like when we started this whole project, you were 16 years old.
Yep, I was 16 years old, and I'm old.
Now you're 18.
I am 18.
And you're an adult, right? So it's just fascinating, this whole Klooby Snacks project, to watch the whole coming of age, right? As we do these live streams. But here we are now. Like, let me just go ahead and set the scene. Izzy, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Isabella. I had your dad as my professor my very first semester of college,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm in my second year. I'm a public relations major at SDSU, and I'm taking an interview style writing class. And every 2 weeks, we work on different pieces. For this project, we're doing a personality piece, and it's a profile on someone who has a connection to SDSU that has something interesting or unique about them. So I went to Professor Klubeck, and I remembered him talking about this project that you guys were doing, and I was like, that's really fascinating, and it's something different from what he's done before. So I thought it'd be really interesting to kind of learn more about it, how that process was, and how it really reveals the type of person that he is. And I thought
Yeah.
that you would give me really good insight on that too.
Yes, I know him pretty well.
Yeah, like super. This is a super cool. I mean, of all of the Klooby snacks of all the weeks, tonight's the night. And I just want to just disclaim right away. Truth be told, this is an interesting piece, but I think I need to be upfront about it and honest about it. I got a chance to speak earlier this year. There's a co-author, Joey Santani, and he introduced AJ to San Diego State University. Like, he helped him get his scholarship there. Your brother, my older son, and let me just fast forward. He also works for Xerox. He's on part of the sales team for Xerox. So I went and spoke to Xerox earlier in the year, and they said, Jeff, we don't have money to pay you to speak, but we can give you Padres tickets. So full disclosure, today was the day I cashed in, and they've got these Padres tickets that are all you can eat, all you can drink, like 90 minutes before the game, all you can eat 90 minutes after the game. And truth be told, I've been enjoying those seats today. So here we are. Now, here's the cool thing about that is that I got home in time to host the session. The truth, right, and the show must go on. no
Yeah.
matter what. We've talked about that in previous sessions. And I'm ultimately going to get to a place where I like back up and just let Isabella and Abby kind of take the show. But this is a tough week because we're in the 39th week, and this is the last KloobySnack of the particular section that we're in. So everybody should know by now that KloobySnacks are broken up. All 52 are broken up into 4 sections: loving flavored, ego flavored, discipline flavored,
And integrity flavored.
and then integrity flavored. So we're going to we're closing out discipline and getting into integrity. So it's heavy. So normally everybody should know that for most of the snacks in the book, it's my motivational quote and then Abby's response. But we decided that the last response to each quote in each section would be me. So it's like beautiful because I can't wait to unearth what I've written as the last snack in the section. But I don't know if I'm the right person to read it or if you're, Abby, the right person to read it.
The past 2 have been you reading it.
Yeah, so I don't know, I don't know if I want to read it or if I want you to read it. Like honestly, like we're live streaming right now, right? This is raw. Now, I want to say this right now, like KloobySnacks is part of my effort to differentiate myself among all the other thought leaders, among all the other coaches, consultants, teachers, trainers, speakers, right? Nobody has KloobySnacks. I'm the only one, right? So this is a point of differentiation. I'm the only one that's your dad. That's like huge, Abby, right? You understand? And Isabella, my goodness, I don't want to get into like how many professors have you had and how do I rank among them? Like, hold that thought, okay? But what I'm trying to get at is this is a very special evening. It's a very special number, 39. And of course, it just coincides with your project, right? So what I want to do is do what I want to do, but I want to get out of the way as soon as possible. But I'm here to protect and preserve what's supposed to happen tonight, which is me just crying my eyes out over how much I love my daughter and how much I've tried to on and on and on. It's going to come out one way or the other. It's going to come out. Abby, whether you read it or whether I read it, right? So I don't even know. I don't even know yet what's going to happen. But let's go ahead and do a review of all of the snacks that showed up in this section, and then we'll figure it out, right?
Okay.
So here we go. So this section started with number 27, right? We judge ourselves by intent while we judge others by their actions. Then we moved on to the biggest problem with apology and forgiveness is the guilty verdict they both deserve or require. Require, right? Yeah, thank you. Oh my God, I love this already. You're sharp, Abby.
Thank you.
All right. As a matter of fact, take it over. Go ahead. What number 28?
I can't see it. You took the banner off.
Okay, well, how about number 28?
Number 28. The biggest problem with apology and forgiveness is the guilty verdict they both require. Moving on to number 29.
Wait, hang on a second. Is that heavy or what?
It is.
Right? Let's slow down real quick. We all want to apologize. We all want to forgive, but we have to admit something first. And that's the part. That's the thing. Like we have to be willing to discipline. We have to be willing to, dedicate to reality. Go ahead.
Moving on to number 29, we have the road to mastery is paved with fundamentals.
And what do I always love to say, Abby? We love putting the fun back.
And we love to put the fun in fundamentals. What do you say?
Yeah, we love to put the fun back. Okay, all right, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right.
Moving on to number 30.
Thank you.
The only mistake to be afraid of is the mistake we don't learn from.
Oh, yeah. If you're afraid of learning, be very afraid.
Be very afraid. Number 31, every job is an inside job. Oh, didn't know there was motion that went with it. 32, if you want to be paid attention, pay it first.
I'm going to stop here, and I want to let you know that earlier today at Petco Park, the last game of the season, I had the Xerox seats because...
Wait, I'm wearing a Padres shirt. Sorry.
Fantastic.
And you're wearing a Fordham shirt.
I am. This is on purpose. I'm wearing a Fordham shirt. First time all year that I'm wearing. Anyway, the seats that we had, the Padres tickets that we had were the Xerox seats because I spoke to Xerox and they said, hey, we want you to come in to speak. We don't have any money for you, but we can give you tickets. And so I had like how many thousands of dollars worth of tickets to the Xerox corporate seats. And one of the people that I invited, I'm like, who do I want to come with me? This has got to be like lifelong, legendary. Who are like I actually had to ask myself the question: if I was dying tomorrow and can see one baseball game today, who would I want with me? And I expanded, by the way. No offense to anybody else that didn't make it, but one of the people that did was the person that I saw a baseball game with in every major league stadium, Jason, right? Jay. And we talked about this quote that you reworded, and I let you reword for the sake of the project because I didn't want to do anything that got you annoyed with the project. I wanted to keep you engaged, right?
Yeah.
But this is one of the things that it came up this morning at the table, breakfast table now you grew up in, right over there.
In the house I grew up in.
He said, you make sure you tell them that they aren't going to be paid unless they pay first. I said, yes. We've talked about it. So we were true to my good friend Jason. Anyway, all right. Here we go. Number 23. Go ahead. Number
33. Most babies live past the age of 5. Most businesses don't. And I'm gonna say what you normally say when we get to this one. I'm really surprised that Abby went with this one because the rest of them were all interpersonal, and this one's different. This is business oriented, but it's really interesting how she chose one that's part of a realm that she's not yet familiar with. That's what you would have said.
Yeah, and I am so not offended by the fact that you wanted to like cut me off and say what I would have said, because that's the whole jam. The whole jam is for you to be better and brighter than us.
Okay.
Right. Like reproduce, evolve. What's the meaning of life? Make more, get better. Make more, get better. Abby, thank you for doing that. All right. So then 34, nothing works unless we do. Everybody wants to blame everybody else for what's going on, but are we working hard enough? Are we focused enough, et cetera, et cetera? That's kind of self-explanatory. Let's get into number 35. The only problem that cannot be solved is the one that does not exist. And then back to problems, the toughest problem you will ever solve is the one you could have prevented. Abby, number 37.
Number 37, Michael Phelps never won a gold medal swimming in someone else's lane.
Do you want to elaborate on this one for just 1 second? Okay.
I could say what I said about it. I remember.
Yeah.
About how the quickest way to get somewhere is to go straight there rather than the whole pit stop stuff. And I'm in my writing, I wrote about a relationship and how I used to always, we're getting claps for this one. I used to always prioritize a relationship over anything else, and how but then turning into like the quickest way to get somewhere is to go straight there rather than prioritizing other people or other things or things that like are seemingly important when they're actually not.
Yeah. Is there any? Yeah. This is an interesting KloobySnack for us, right? Because let's just be raw a little bit, right? And by the way, Isabella, I'm calling you Isabella full name, but can you help us with Izzy? Do you have a nickname?
I usually go by Isa, actually.
Yeah. I remember there was some. I just remember Isa, right? So that's how we want to refer to you, if I can remember throughout the session. All right. So yeah, this is a tough one because as a dad of a teenage girl who knows that everything in high school is completely beneath her, who knows, like, oh my God, she must be just like scraping the walls, going nuts, waiting for high school to be over so she can get into her real life. What she was really made for, what she's really destined for. And it's really hard knowing that what she's going through in high school doesn't matter. It is so much of, it all matters.
Okay.
Right? But as a dad, I'm like, I know how brilliant, how genius, how amazing this woman is. And I know what's waiting for her. And it hurt me, right? And I always tried to balance this. It hurt me to be like, oh my God, she's like, I need to do this. I need to do that. No, you don't. You want to do this. You want to do that. But what's waiting for you is elsewhere. Don't place an imbalanced or an unnecessary amount of weight on these things that are going to be so in your past just a couple of weeks from now. And I had the hardest time communicating that to her. I had the hardest time pressing on her to get the press back because Abby, as you're about to realize, she's strong and she's focused and she's determined. She knows who she is. She knows what she wants at all times, in my opinion.
I do.
Now, no matter how much more nurturing and incubating and etc. she may need, that doesn't matter. What I'm getting at right now is how focused and clear and determined she is and how hard it has been to be her dad. Okay. So Michael Phelps and this particular person, we're not going to name him. We're not going to name him. But like this was a year ago at this time, and I'm like, Abby, I'm 52 years old back then. I know what I'm like, I just know, and it's hard to say it because at the moment her reality is a reality, and I'm oppressed upon. You follow?
Mhm.
But I just knew it would, like, she wasn't doing anything for herself. Like nothing she was doing was helping herself, other than whatever lessons she may learn when it's time to peel apart. And now, not only is that relationship gone, but a little birdie sat on my shoulder and told me that another relationship after that, maybe. See the face? I don't know. But my point is, it's like, hey, who's the only person you have to spend the rest of your life with, Abby? And it's you.
Me.
And I want you to get your stuff together on you first, and then bring a full you into a relationship with another who hopefully has worked on themselves. Rather than meeting somebody youthfully who doesn't know who they are when you don't know who you are, clinging to each other instead of going exploring yourselves.
Yeah.
And so, okay, all right, Michael Phelps and this particular person a year ago, he had a lot of stuff. By the way, Abby, I want you to understand, I love the guy, but I didn't love your relationship. I love the person, love the human, but I didn't think you guys were good together, and I didn't think he was doing you, my daughter, as much good as you could have done on your own or elsewhere, right? So instead of like fulfilling him and taking care of his needs, you were 16, 17 years old.
15,
like you got your own hill to climb. You got your own purpose in this life. You cannot stop taking one step up your own mountain just because somebody else is needy. Like that doesn't work, right? And I just did my best a year ago to tell you. And hey, here we are now. We get this KloobySnacks project where we've really come together in so many levels. Tonight's going to be very special for us. I don't know if I'm going to get through it without crying. I still don't know if you're going to make me read it or if you're going to offer to read it. But let's go ahead and get to last week's KloobySnack. I'll wait till you're done sipping your drink.
Okay.
Abby.
Mine's number 38. Mindset is skill set.
All right.
I got typing going.
I'm still typing. I'm just going to do the dot. I'm just going to do the dot because, all right, ready? And number 39. Nothing is insurmountable. Dot.
Do you want me to finish? It?
Do you want to go if you can?
Holds you accountable.
When Coach Jeffrey holds you accountable. Now let me jump.
I know it.
Let me jump, Isabella, into the conversation. This is important right here. This week's KloobySnack is nothing is insurmountable when I'm holding you accountable. It actually, I think, says hugging you accountable, because accountability, I've always known accountability is always going to feel like an attack if we're not ready to be 100% responsible for our own behavior. Now, this is really special for me to jump you in. Yeah. I know you love that, Abby. I love that. You know, Isabella, from your perspective, you were a student in my class. Okay. So this is really important to me. And in retrospect, I'm not your professor anymore. We're just friends. We're adults. And you've chosen to come to me for this project that you're working on, which is fantastic. I want to ask you real quick before we get into tonight's snack and before we read the response to it. Can you talk real quick about this mantra that I've put forth in class? You get to be yourself. I want my class to be the safest place on campus, but you have to be an adult.
Yeah.
And can we talk because this is the discipline flavored section of KloobySnack. We're talking about discipline, taking the right amount of responsibility for things, dedicated to reality, delaying gratification, doing what's necessary and difficult first, and then doing what's fun and convenient thereafter, right? Like all of the things in my opinion, I'm trying to teach you or the learners or the first year freshmen, I'm trying to teach you how to be adults as much as I'm trying to teach public speaking. Do you have a comment on that before we get into tonight's snack?
Yeah, I think this was like the way that you approached teaching us and like really enforcing that, like, I understand this class is probably not going to be most of yours like first priority and main concern, as long as you are dedicating like some time to it and putting forth your best work. That's all that really mattered. I really appreciated that because it felt like so genuine, and unlike how I feel like most teachers and professors that I've had in the past have always just been like, you need to like make sure this class is important, because a lot of the time that's just not realistic. Like, especially for like freshly college students who are getting this responsibility and living on their own, it's just not realistic. Like, you can't sugarcoat it. So this was really important, especially because this was, I mean, like, most of the people in that class, it was like their first classes of the day too, and like first class of college. Like, it was a big milestone, so it was kind of intimidating going into it, like, oh my gosh, it's a speech class, there's a lot of pressure here. And you did a good job at not like being like, it's okay guys, it doesn't matter, because it was still an important class and the work still mattered, we still had to do good work. But it was like, the ball's in your court, like you're in control of your own success. So that really made it feel like so much better and a lot less stressful. Obviously the outlines were not like the greatest thing in the world, but I mean, knowing that I was in charge of my success and it all just depended on the effort I wanted to put into the class, it made me feel a lot better.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting teaching the class because some people have natural charisma, extrovert. Some people are naturally expressive and animated, etc. Naturally, but they have to learn the structure and the system and the formatting. And other people are really good at the structure and the system, the formatting, but they don't have the natural charisma. So on the continuum of behavioral styles, we have to get everybody through the desert. You know, my job is to make sure everybody knows that they can speak in public, that they can present their ideas, they can organize their thoughts, they can advance their careers, advance their businesses if they can get their shit together when it comes to public speaking. And I've been around the world helping people with public speaking. But this is special. This, like, you being here is near and dear to my heart because, I mean, I don't have to teach. I can go, right? But it means something to me. And this is a special night, to say the least. Abby, do you have any comments or questions before we get into tonight's snack based on how this is set up? Because just to refresh, Isabella is here to interview me, right, as part of her JMS, Journalism and Media Studies project. JMS brought me in, the head of the, anyway, I don't want to go back out of retirement to teach any. Yeah. It's just a fantastic story. Like this is full circle stuff for me. But I just want to ask, before we get into it, do you have anything to say about, like, first of all, your own impressions before we read? Because this is a unique instance where it's my response to tonight's snack. Normally we're reading your response, but let's focus on a couple things that are in play here, right? One is nothing is insurmountable when Coach Jeffrey holds you accountable. It's tongue-in-cheek and it's silly and it's dad jokey and it's jovial, but I'm really trying to communicate something like if you allow me, if you give me permission to hold you accountable, you're going to do better than you would have without me. That's kind of what I'm saying, right? And then on the heels of all these snacks in the discipline flavored section, Abby, what say you before we get into the reading of tonight's response?
One, before we got on the call, I like went and looked at what snack number we were on so I could see, and I was going to, because I don't have a copy of the book yet, and I was going to tell Brody to go. I called him. I was on the phone with him earlier. And I was going to go have him tell me what like snack we were on. But then I went and I saw on the calendar and it was 39. And I was like, that is so weird. We're like really almost done. We're finished like the third section, which I think is so crazy. It's also so crazy to think that like now I'm going back and reading all the stuff that was written like a year, like when I was like freshly 17. And I'm freshly 18. It was all written so long ago. And it's so weird to like go back and look at now. And I think it's really exciting to think about like the future and what's going to happen next and like what else we could write or how else like these like next things can be formatted. So I think that's really exciting. And like this is kind of like a reminder of it. It's like another milestone. So just like another like reminder of like one, how long it's been and how far we've come, and also like I don't know, like what like where we were when we started all of this and where we are now and like where we could go. I think that's really exciting to think about. And that's what this little like milestone.
I really love that you brought that up because yes. I hope this project isn't a source of sadness that it's 13 weeks away from ending, right? But it's a source of excitement because like, wow, I was thinking this, we did this, and now we're here. And I want you to have that spirit of evolution through everything that you do in your life, right? What's the largest room in the world? The room for improvement. Something can always be improved. So everything that may feel perfect right now can always be improved. And I'm enamored with my imagination for what your life is going to look like a year from now.
Be crazy, Tom.
I do want to say, without getting too weird, that a year ago, I felt like I could see now.
Mm-hmm.
And it was trying to help you understand what would be the most important things in your life today versus what you thought was so important then. It's miles and miles apart. No judgment, just curiosity and love. But the same thing is true. Everything that you might think is super, super, super important right now might have a minuscule of importance a year from now. And so I hope you always have balance and perspective on your future, perspective on your past while you're living in the present, making the decisions, but what's important and what you invest in. Because Abby, you're a superstar, and the sky's the limit for you. And whatever decisions you make in every given moment have a ripple effect on your future. And so I'm cheering for you, and I'm here to support you as much as I can. Now, ready to get into it?
Yeah. Am I reading it or are you reading it?
I don't know. This is tough. What
writing?
I know. Let's just play this out a little bit. Let's have some fun. Let's ask a third party perspective. Isabella. Normally, I read the KloobySnack, right? And then Abby reads her journal style response. But because you're coming on board tonight, it's the last snack of a section, right? Because it started with loving flavored, then ego flavored. Now we're in discipline flavored. We're closing out discipline flavored. And there's no right or wrong answer to this. But you want me to read it, my own written response, or do we want to put Abby on the spot to try to read her dad's response?
And you said you've been reading the last few? Or who's been reading the last few?
No, what's been happening all along is I read the snack because that's usually my authoring is the KloobySnack itself. And then Abby reads her own response. But tonight is one of 4 out of 52, the last KloobySnack of each section where I wrote it, right? So tonight it's my writing, it's my voice, should I read it in my voice, or do we want to let Abby try to read her dad's voice? I mean,
I think we should let Abby try to read her dad's voice.
I was so hoping you'd say that. Okay, because if I try to read my own stuff, I am going to cry. It's going to be waterworks. Abby, are you ready?
I'm so ready.
All right. Hang on. Here we go. All right, there you go. All right, so let me go ahead and screen share.
I will not be crying.
I'm going to cry. Well, I don't know if I'll cry if you read it.
I'm not going to cry. It's your writing. It's not mine.
All right. Well, let's see. This is heavy. Here we go. This is.
No.
Are we there? Can you see the right screen?
I see a black screen.
No, thank you for your payment. Oh my gosh, that's not what we want.
Oh, no.
Thank you for your payment to Escondido Water Supply. Let's try that again. This is raw. By the way, I just want to let everybody know that while I'm doing this, that I'm still a fan of authentic intelligence. Still a fan of authentic. Now, it seems to be having a problem here, though. Let me bring it up. Okay, that's that. All right. That includes the errors. That includes the human errors. That includes.
Uh-huh.
All right. Should be right now. Screen share screen, window, KloobySnacks. All right, here we go. So tonight's KloobySnack number 39 is Nothing is Insurmountable. Let me put that up on the screen. Nothing is insurmountable when Coach Jeffrey is holding you accountable. Coach, it's very tongue-in-cheek. It's very silly.
Do I read it in your? Can I read it in your, how I?
You know what? Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Let's go.
I got this.
Yeah, you got it.
My monologue.
Whatever you want to do. It's
okay.
This is everybody should know. This is my writing, but we're going to allow Abby to read my writing.
This.
However clunky and weird it may be, I think this is the right jam. Because, by the way, before you start, Abby, the only thing that a dad wants is for the daughters to take care of themselves, know how to protect themselves, feel comfortable in their own skin, have their head up around the world, on and on and on and on and on. So that's where all of this is coming from.
Yeah.
Abby, go ahead. Nothing is insurmountable when Coach Jeffrey hugs you accountable. Go ahead.
Hold on. Wait. My roommate just came. I'm doing it. Sorry.
I know.
Okay. Am I going?
Yep.
Okay, wait. Let me just preface. Hi, I'm Abby Klubeck, and I'm playing the role of Jeffrey Klubeck. Okay. Get ready to scroll. There you go. In 2013, I gained a client via independent contract to provide coaching services for seminar and event or organization that sold wealth building professional growth. For the first 3 years, I was only doing Skype, then Zoom sessions. Yes, I adopted Zoom in 2014, 6 years before the pandemic, with the entrepreneurs that had gotten 8, 10, 12, or 20 half-hour coaching sessions in whatever package they invested in at whatever event they attended. The problem with these coaching sessions is that the organization did not have any truly trained coaches. They had seminar industry salespeople they called coaches, and they had people. Stop highlighting stuff. I can't read it when you highlight it. And
Okay.
they had people who had achieved successes in their lives and could explain how they did it that they called coaches, but they didn't have anyone doing coaching that had completed a single coach's training. They didn't have anyone who understood how to coach, which is way different than simply explaining what you did that worked. One of the biggest differences is knowing how to hold people accountable, how to deliver effective confrontations that lead to more honesty internally and greater performance and achievement externally. So my role in the organization at first was damage control and providing legitimate coaching to all the people that had been hot potatoed from ineffective coach to ineffective coach and on the verge of requesting refunds. After 3 years of consistently getting rated 10 out of 10 and saving these damage control situations, and in many cases getting clients to reinvest in additional coaching, I was rewarded with an invitation to speak for 15 minutes on stage at the big annual event that had attendees from the over 40 countries the company would hold events in throughout the year. My speech was called Hug You Accountable. It is available when you do a YouTube search for Hug. What the heck?
It is totally available.
Okay, I believe you. My goal is to establish and distinguish myself as a real coach without offending or minimizing the other coaches. So I focused on my competitive advantage among the coaches, which was my understanding of ability to teach and track record for delivering effective accountability. One of the major goals of the talk was to associate accountability with love, not punishment. Focusing on the discipline, willingness to be counted, and the willingness, discipline, to confront someone's words, beliefs, and behaviors is a recipe for vulnerability that requires training, practice, and exceptional soft skills. The 15 minutes in front of that audience sparked a demand for my services, leading to assignments in dozens of cities across 14 countries and 14 different continents. And 4 different continents over the next 3.5 years. I was a world-class accountability coach on the road.
Take a deep breath, because this is where it gets a little heavy, and I'm glad that you're reading instead of me, but I'm ready to jump in.
I know, I was waiting for the what's going to make me cry part, like the YouTube.
Well, first of all, do you see this is me in England and Madison Square Garden and Norway and Australia? Keep going, Abby. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. At home, Abby was 10 when the international assignments began. I specifically remember getting her first phone, partly out of guilt that I was going to be gone so much, and I rationalized that I wanted to be able to talk with her and FaceTime with her and text message with her and stay connected to her while I was gone. I blinked, traveled the world, and all of a sudden she was 14 and addicted to her phone and all the social media toxicity that comes with it. Then came COVID and the spike in the mental health crisis and the poor diet and questionable hygiene and so many habits my daughter had adopted while I was too busy to notice. I was too busy to notice that what? Can you spell
that have since
had me carrying enormous feelings of guilt over my parenting.
Yeah. Hey. Can we take a deep breath? Okay, continue.
We'll go slower. Where was my discipline as a parent? Why couldn't we limit screen time? Why don't we have more parental controls? Why was I drinking in front of my daughter? How did I gain so much weight? What example was I setting for my daughter? Why aren't we exercising together or working on creative projects together? Why does all the time I spend with her involve ice cream, sweets, or fast food? Why did we ever let her keep a messy room? Why did we ever let her sleep with her phone and laptop on her bed? Why did we ever allow the sugar addiction? Will she ever value a healthy diet, her sleep, healthy social relationships, herself, her parents?
Let
me just speak for myself real quick. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, will she ever?
Yes.
Of course. Yeah.
Also,
The answer
I
is
did
yes.
not sleep with my phone until I was like 15 years old. So
Fair enough. Who's talking now? Am I talking or are you
I
talking?
wrote character. I'm
Okay,
resuming.
continue.
Earlier, you read the ego-flavored KloobySnack. A surgeon doesn't operate on themselves. Well, neither does a parent themselves. The successes I have earned delivering world-class accountability in my professional life are in stark contrast to the failures, mistakes, shortcomings, and regrets I own when it comes to holding myself accountable to being a better person and certainly towards being a better parent. When it comes to discipline and parenting, I have not always done what is necessary and difficult. I have not always been dedicated to or willing to recognize toxic realities. I have not always felt mentally healthy, at times feeling too responsible, and other times not responsible enough for my daughter's personal and spiritual growth. I have not always been able to delay my own gratification in favor of more patient, compassionate, and loving strategies. I have not always been able to teach delayed gratification. When it comes to discipline and parenting, I've held resentments in my marriage that I'm always the bad guy, the one who has to say no and risk being unliked or tantrumed on. I believe somewhere in this book, Abby admits that she's always blamed me for everything. It takes discipline to keep trying, to keep loving, to keep braving the elements and potential of being hated by your daughter, all while already hating on myself for all of the above. It's hard. Okay.
Yeah. It's oh my God, you're doing so much better than I'd be doing if I had to read this. Abby, keep going. You're doing great.
No, I'm just gonna cry because I'm laughing.
No. Hey, somebody's gonna cry, and I hope it's both of us.
Stop. Despite how effective I am in my speeches, coaching, books, boardrooms, classrooms, trainings, or podcast interviews, and despite the thousands of dollars people pay just to talk with me, none of it matters to my daughter. Discipline to her has always been punishment, and she's effectively used all of her powers and persuasion and manipulation to avoid being punished as much as she truly has deserved over the years. Why am I even crying?
Because one of us has to, or both of us have to.
I'm in character. I'm playing you.
Oh my God! Yeah. Feel it. This is genius. Please feel it all, and I'm right there with you.
I'm trying to stop. Okay.
I think you're at. I could.
I know where I am. I could argue that my entire career is about making accountability non-threatening, a mission that gave birth to the integrity game, which flavors the next and last baker's dozen in this book. All the while, nobody is holding me accountable for being a better parent, except me. And no one is forcing me to be a better person, like a better parent, like Abby. Oh. As we leave the discipline-flavored section, I'm about to leave the disciplining phase in my daughter's life. Soon, I just cheer and support. No longer will I be responsible for making, restricting, monitoring, and policing. I was like, why did you say policy? Policing her decisions.
That's right, yeah.
Did I teach her enough? Is she able to delay gratification? Is she dedicated to reality? Is she pursuing and practicing habits for mental health? Is she comfortable in her own skin? Will she eat healthily? Will she stay out of trouble? Will she always protect herself? Will she exercise her mind and body? Does she know she'll need help? Does she know the world won't let her off the hook as often as her parents did? Does she know she'll need more discipline to reach her potential? And did we give her enough of a foundation to build her upon, for her to build upon? Next up, KloobySnack's Volume 1 concludes with an integrity-flavored baker's dozen, focusing on the structural integrity it takes to stand firm, resist pressure tests, stay functional, and live our purpose and potential. Just like building, bridge, or tunnel, I believe that we will collapse under pressure tests without structural integrity, the solid foundation and frameworks that all successes are built upon. It takes love, a healthy sense of self, and discipline to build a foundation and structure for success. Hugging Abby accountable hasn't always worked, but it always works better than trying to hold her to anything. Discipline doesn't always have to be aggressive, confrontational, punitive, or painful. It must, however, be an ingredient in the foundation of a healthy and self-responsible young person getting ready to leave home and take on the world. I will always believe that nothing is insurmountable when I am hugging Abby accountable.
Oh man, you're reading it and I'm crying. Like, can you imagine if I had to try to read that?
It would take like 30 minutes.
Okay. Wow. So normally when we're done reading your response to my KloobySnacks, I ask you these simple questions. But what I want to do tonight is yield. I yield my time to Isabella. Isabella is here to follow up. Like, wow. I mean, super wow. I'm just going to shut up and I'm going to let you guys run the show now. Isabella, you're the interviewer. You're the journalist. You're in it with us right now. You're doing ethnographic research. You've immersed yourself among the natives and are watching what happens in our normal habitat. so you get the perspective of being in and out of this bubble. And and now Abby's here for you. Take it away.
All right. Thank you guys for letting me be here tonight. It's really nice to like see this happen in real time. Cause when I interviewed with your dad earlier this week, I mean, basically he was telling me the same things just about how this whole process was and how he was, I mean, like how it came to including you in the project. But I wanted to get your perspective. Like, did you even think that your dad was going to ask you to be a part of this? Was this discussed before? Were you shocked when he asked you?
I wasn't shocked when he asked me for help. I think that a lot of the times, like as he's in the process for different projects or different things and things are going on, he does share with me and kind of get my insight. But I don't think that I don't know. I wasn't necessarily shocked when he brought this up to me. And it also originally wasn't supposed to be a dual project thing. It was more to get my insight and help have me help him narrow everything down. I was more surprised at I was surprised with my like involvement in like the end and how like it went from just like asking me to, can you turn the lights back? Thank you. Sorry. Can you, okay. No, like not really. Sorry. I was surprised with like how quickly it shifted from just me helping narrow down the book to like writing it. But it did feel like natural and I don't know. I think that like in the end, like the final outcome, like that's exactly what it should have been. And I'm really happy with what we did. But it was surprising to me how like it shifted, but I wasn't surprised that he asked me for help because I think that with like between like the rest of my family, my dad and I are very similar in the ways we think and understand and the way we like see like current things and are able to like evolve it into future ideas and stuff like that. And him and I are very similar in that way. So it makes sense for him to come to me rather than like my siblings or my mom, because him and I are very similar creatively and like in a visionary aspect. So this is like a very like me and him project from the beginning, in my opinion.
Love it. And what was your dad like as a writing partner, and how did that differ from your experience with him as your father?
It was really interesting actually. This whole like writing period where it was like, instead of being like, oh, I'm like sitting down with my dad at the dinner table, it's like, oh, like this is like co-author and we're sitting down and I'm trying to write these things and I'm asking him like, oh, like when you wrote down this KloobySnack, what did you view it as, and like whatever, and we're going back and forth on ideas and how he views things versus how I interpret them. And it didn't feel like it was, I mean, like normally when I talk to him, it's like I feel like it's like all these like lessons and these like life lessons and it's like a father-daughter relationship, and but like this felt very natural. Like it was one, I was interested in what he had to say because I wanted to understand him so I could understand what I was writing and understand where I wanted to go. But it felt more organic, like the relationship and what I learned from him. It felt organic and I was more inclined to listen and understand. And I wanted to understand not just as his daughter, but as like a co-author, his daughter, like all of these things. And also just to understand him more as a person, like not as my dad, like not as like, oh, this is my dad. Like this is a person that I wanted to know like where these KloobySnacks came from and what he learned in order to like write these things and all this stuff. So it was interesting to view him as something other than my dad. And I think that like shift in lens is what gave me like a shift in like my learning and my intake and my, what's the word? Like absorption of his knowledge and his thoughts.
Yeah, I just want to jump in real quick. This is what Abby just said is one of the things that's just so like priceless for me. Like if you reconstruct what she just said, and as you're reflecting on your notes, but she like not as my dad. Wait a second, that's not what she really means. Like, not as my dad is not what she means. Like I'm always going to be her dad. What she means is not as an authoritarian figure, not as a source of punishment or consequence in my life, just as somebody who has a brain and thinks and thought leads. Like that piece is just the piece that is so, I wouldn't jump in normally, and I'm going to shut up very soon. But you hear what I'm saying? That piece is so incredible for me. Like the difference between just getting ready to see me as an accountability source. And like now, every time she's interacting with dad, it's like, what do I say? How do I project? What can I get away with? What can I hide? What can I avoid? How do I shape this so that I'm not asked to the degree that that goes out the window? I don't want her to see me that way. I had to play that role. I brave the elements. You're right. But like,
Yeah.
I'm like, will you just see what my thought leadership is? Will you see what people pay me thousands of dollars for? There's these people over here that pay me thousands of dollars to talk to me. Why not you, my daughter, who I love more than anything on the planet? And that's been a journey. And thank you for breaking through. All right, continue, Izzy. Yeah, Izzy.
All right. Can you describe any moments during the writing process where it felt like your dad was really surprising you? Maybe how he handled a situation or what he wrote?
I think like one of the big turning points is when I was about to leave the house to go hang out with one of my friends, or I was about to go leave for something that was probably not that important. And he was like, before you go, like, let's talk about this. And he pulled me over and we looked at his desk. We looked at what was written so far, like the progress we had, which wasn't a lot. And we only had a little bit of time left. And we looked at what we had and we're like, okay, we need to be realistic and like divvy this up some other way. Like something needs to change, whether it's we split each section and I write like half the snacks and he writes the other half, or I only write a few from each, or we needed to change something. And that's when we decided that he would write the last snack. He'd write the journal style response, the last snack in each section. I think that like I always think of that as like the big like pivotal like turning point in the whole writing process. Because I think also prior to that, the whole thing, not the whole thing, but as I was writing, it felt like still like this was my dad like telling me to do something. And when I want to go hang out with my friends and he was like, oh, well, have you written anything today? Or is there anything more you could do for KloobySnacks today? And I was just like, Dad, like I want to go hang out with my friends. I want to do this. But then I think that's where the shift was, where we sat and we're like, okay, what's the smartest and most efficient, but still most like meaningful way we can change something or shift this in order to get it done, but also get it done in a way that we're happy with and proud of, and that changes our relationship and has the potential to help other people change theirs. So that's when we decided to switch it. So he did the last one. And then that's when it shifted, to me at least. I felt the shift from like, yes, like this is like a father-daughter project, but also it's like it's our project. And that's where I felt the shift. And then from there, it was like it felt easier for me to write things and to get the work done on my own. And then I'd go and be so excited to show him. And even though it's not surprising that my dad, like I know my dad's an emotional person. It doesn't take much to get the waterworks going, but I really was happily surprised every time I would finish writing another one. And I'd be like, oh, do you want to read it? And he'd like drop everything immediately and like sit down and then always stand up crying after and listen to me or listen to what I had to write. And I think like that was also one of my favorite parts. I loved writing everything to get it done, so that it was like one less KloobySnack for me to write. But also I think a big motivator, I don't think I've ever told him this, but a big motivator for my writing was to read it to him. I was so excited to read everything to him. And I think that my dad's very receptive, and he's very like responsive and reactive. And I would love to just go and like sit on the couch and be like, I'd like, Dad, like want to see what I wrote, and have him sit there and always cry, and he has to take the paper towel out of his pocket. And I don't know, I think that his pride in me was a big motivator throughout the whole process, as much as like getting it done was. But I think like that like kept me motivated throughout the entire thing. And I don't think that this project would have gotten done if it wasn't for him stopping everything he was doing and crying after I wrote each thing and all of that. So that's my very long response.
You know, as much as I don't want to jump in here, Isabella, can you add on? I know you're the interviewer here, right? Be for your project, but let's be dynamic. Let me interview you as you're the interviewer and ask, can you share from your own perspective? Can you shift hats real quick, take off your interviewer hat and be like a participant that's being interviewed, person on the street that saw it all happen? What was it like for you being a student in my class, watching me walk into class every day with this? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I remember, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm connecting with my daughter in this new and amazing way. And can you, like, I'll let you get back to your line of questioning, but would you humor me a little bit and say, oh, on the heels of what Abby just said?
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you could
Yeah.
really feel like your excitement coming into the class and just the way you're talking about this project. That's how I knew, like, I need to talk about this because obviously, like, we would do pieces of the integrity gaming class and it was part of what we were learning, but there's just something so unique and different about this project. You could feel how special it was to you. And even the way that you wanted to incorporate some work from our students, like, I don't know if any of them ended up actually like being a part of it, but it was the way you wanted everyone to kind of like be involved and like, guys, this is what I'm working on. Just by the fact that you were so open about it and sharing it with us, I knew that it was special to you. So, I mean, I needed to know more about it, and I'm really glad that I've gotten to. And it's so funny how you guys say you guys are so similar because I'm like comparing my notes between like the answers I've gotten from both of you, and they're so similar. Like you guys both talked about like that exact moment where it kind of shifted and it went from like, wow, like this is real, this is happening. So I can definitely tell you guys are very similar.
My father's daughter.
Yeah. Love it.
All right, well, continue with your line of questioning. I'm going to back up a little bit and let you guys continue to run the show. I think this is gold. I hope that anybody watching a recording of this or the replay of it or is on board with us live is really understanding what this whole daddy-daughter thing means, what the intergenerational thing means, what it means to give back to students that are going to be our future in this world. I mean, there's a lot going on here. I yield back to you, Isabella. Continue.
All right, this is my last question. What is something that your dad does that only those closest to him would know, but that maybe came through in the book, either intentionally or not?
I think, hold on, wait. Let me think of something that would actually like. I think that a big part of it, I think what was seen a lot in this book specifically was how, like, and it was talked about a lot in this KloobySnack, was how, like, yes, my dad is, like, very big on accountability, and he is very serious when need be. And, like, as he said, like, he will be the bad guy and he will be that role. But also, I think that throughout all of that, he's always very true to himself and true to his humor and true to his joviality. And even like his thing is to make like hold accountability fun and not non-threatening. And I think that even though sometimes I think you do beat yourself up a little too much for this, you feel like you are playing the bad guy role too much. I don't think that he ever loses sight of who he is and who he wants to be and the father he wants to be, the husband he wants to be. I think he's always very jovial and loving, and I don't think that his willingness or his eagerness to be disciplined and have integrity, all this stuff, I don't think that ever contradicts his like desire to be fun and loving and caring and all of these things. I think that he is very good at like integrating both of those things and always staying true to both values, even though like they might seem different, being like fun, but also being like being the what's it called, the whoever you would describe it's like that whole authoritarian, is that the word?
Authoritative.
Authoritative.
I don't like using authoritarian in today's climate, by the way. But
yeah, I don't know. I was kind of like, I don't think that sounds right. But but like with those two things, even though they seem so opposite, I think that my dad is one of the maybe only people I know that is always able to stay true to both of those things, which I think is like, I mean, I know that and my siblings know that and my family knows that, but I think that it's also seen in his writing and throughout the book, and also like in the writing process, I felt that. So yeah, I don't know if that made sense.
So no, that was perfect.
Yay.
Any other comments or questions, anything else you want to throw out there?
I don't know. I wanted to just say something about, I think, I don't know how to word this. Hold on, because this is not like a whole concrete thought. This is not something I've like put thought into before. But as we've been talking about this, I think my dad has a very interesting way of taking some situation or some project or something, and then being able to like not only like view it in a creative way and in a creative direction, but also think about like, what could I do with this opportunity, this information, this situation? What can I do that will, one, become something to benefit me, but also benefit X, Y, and Z group of people, benefit my family, benefit my students, benefit my coworkers, and all this stuff. Like, what can I do with this one small thing? And he turned like this KloobySnacks into a book, into a father-daughter like restoration project, into he's using it in all these other workspaces. And I think that it's so interesting how like it's not shocking to him how this is happening. He viewed everything like this from the beginning. And sometimes he'll be talking to me and he sounds crazy when it's like these ideas, and it's just like, okay, dad, like, okay, dad, and like, yeah, whatever. But he's never really been wrong in that idea. And I think it's really interesting how he's able to see something that might seem so random or just like as is, and he's able to see it in a creative but like transformative, all of these things, and he's able to just see it in that way, and then also able to want to execute it and turn it into exactly what I wanted it to be and thought it would be. And that's obviously not just with this book. I think that's also like with the integrity and with everything he does. He's able to take it from this one, like, what are you even talking about idea, into exactly what he said it would be. So
Yeah.
that's a little thing that I don't think I touched on enough before, but I do have thoughts on.
It's so funny. Your answers literally go so hand in hand with each other. He was literally like talking about how with KloobySnacks, his mind, like, it excites him because he's thinking about all these different directions they could go with, like possibly blogs or card games with KloobySnacks. And he literally word for word said that it's not even about him seeking balance, it's about achievement and giving back to others. So you guys couldn't be more in tune with each other. I love it.
It's crazy. It's so crazy.
Well, that's all I have, but thank you so much for making the time. I know it's late over there.
Well,
thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
What are we doing? What are we doing if not reproducing and making sure they're better? Reproduce and make sure they're better. You understand? If somebody comes up to me and says, Jeff, in your opinion, or from your frame of reference or your perspective, what's the meaning of life? I'm going to say reproduce and evolve. Reproduce and evolve. Well, if somebody says, well, what's the meaning of your life? Well, I'm on the life to popularize the integrity game. And as we leave the discipline flavored section, after leaving the ego flavored section, after leaving the loving flavored section, we are heading in to the integrity game. We're on our way. I'm going to get tongue-tied if I try to describe how amazing that last little piece or the entire piece has been of watching a former student of mine interview my daughter, and me kind of trying, doing the best I can to step back and just watch that conversation. I'm going to actually, it was so good. I know you guys may not be ready for this, and I want to respect everybody's time. Is there anything else that you guys want to share amongst each other? Interviewer, interviewee. Abigail, you are being interviewed right now. You are the subject of a paper. You understand? You're a freshman in college, but you're a subject. Why? Because you're a best-selling #1 author in the parenting girls category on Amazon. You are who you are. Let me just create a last call round because you guys can imagine there's nothing more golden for me than sitting back and watching the two of you, a former student, current daughter, who I don't have to ask to walk the dogs anymore, and all that represents, right? Anyway, so last call. We're in last call. Go ahead.
I have my last little thing before I need to let my roommate go to sleep too, and then also I need to finish the essay.
And by the way, hello to Laura.
Oh, she says hi. She has 5 classes tomorrow. So, but my last little thing, just based off of what you just said about how our answers are so similar, I think that I've always like, in the nicest way possible, Dad, I've always been like, whenever anybody tells me that I'm really similar to, people used to tell me that I was really similar to my dad, I'd always be like, oh, like, okay, like whatever. But now, like, I'm hearing it more, and also I think I'm more receptive to it now and understand. Like, I think it's interesting, one, how similar we are, but like when I talk about him in such like admiration, and then like somebody says that they see those same things in me, it's like I don't know. It's interesting. And I think that my view on that has now shifted, because before it was like, I don't know. Well, one, I wanted to be my own person, but two, I think it's, if I'm going to be like anybody else, I'm happy that it is somebody that I do admire so much. So I think I don't know. It's really interesting hearing you say that our answers were so similar. And I'm not surprised at all, but it is interesting. So that's my last little thing.
That was perfect. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to write this now. I'll make sure to send it to you guys once I have it all finished and everything. But this is really, really fun. And I'll be sure to tune into more of these.
Yes.
Any more projects in the books? Anything else we're thinking of?
We have a little, like, maybe something.
Well, I will say this, that I have an idea. Well, here's the thing. Guess what? What's that behind you? September. What's that in front of you? October. And to Abby's credit, well, I don't even know if it's a credit, but I just want to acknowledge it was around this time of the year last year. Abby and I had already locked in on what we were going to do, and I know how much, like, this is, I'd already self-published, a handful of books already. I know what it takes to cover design, editing, formatting, uploading, there's stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And so when Abby would say, "Oh, I'm going out with this person, I'm going out with that person," first of all, I'm like, that person's a loser. Why are you going out with that person? No, I'm joking. I'm like, that person isn't going to mean as much to you in 3 months that you think they mean now. And you told me you want to write a book. Like, this didn't happen, but there was a text. I'm going to go ahead, Abby, if you don't mind, I'm going to say so. I got a text from Abby. She's like, you're making me write a book in less than a month. I'm like, hang on. I'm not making you do anything. I told you the project I wanted. I asked you for the help I needed. And then when you gave me the help I needed, you got invested in the project, and you told me you wanted it to be this way. So now I'm deviating from my plan to make room for your ideas, and I know what it's going to take. So forget this, go out with this person, that person. We need to sit down. We need to get some writing done. Now you tell me, do you want to write responses to all the snacks, half the snacks, one snack per section? Whatever you do is going to be good, because you already helped me get down from over 100 down to 52. So you've already done everything I've asked you to do. Whatever other involvement you want in this project, you got to let me know what you want, and I'll hold the space for you, but you got to be committed to it. And then she would rail on me, right? I'm not making you do anything, right? You told me what you wanted to do, and I'm creating the space. I'm trying to support what you wanted to do. That's heavy for me. That's a big deal. And like Abigail said it earlier, there was a shift. There's something happened, right? Where she was like, oh. And by the way, the self-deprecating part, which I think is important in our relationship, the way I got access to Abby, the way I did, was taking an inferior posture. I made sure I was sitting down. I made sure I was looking up. I made sure she was on her feet. I made sure I asked her to help me. I made sure I was telling her, I love you for this. I admire you for this. You know more about this than I do. KloobySnacks are more TikTok-y than LinkedIn-y, and and I got her attention, and then I just made the space for however much she wanted to be involved in the project. But yeah, a year ago from now, like, what a difference, Abby! Like, amazing, right?
Yeah.
And then tonight to hear, thank you. I just want to say thank you, because, like, what else do I want? I want to be seen. I know I'm your dad. I know how much I love you. I've known all along, and like, I never knew if I would be recognized or seen, and I don't worry about that anymore. So you've liberated me, and you've healed me in this project, right? And I forget what I started to.
Projects for next year.
Well, here it is. It's like, you're in New York City now, right?
I am.
And there's no way I can expect. So I'm thinking, all right, well, we literally wrote this book, KloobySnacks, in less than 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Although the quotes were always there.
Yeah.
Some of them were I created before you were born.
Mm-hmm.
But we literally sat there and wrote the book in less than 3 months, and we're here now. Like, all right, am I going to take a year off? Or, like, because I've written, right, just so you know, right, I've written Get a Clue in 52, the Entrepreneur Edition, and Get a Clue in 52, the Speaker Edition, and Get a Clue in 52, the Coaching Edition, and this is like the 5th Get a Clue in 52 project, where I've got a reason to live stream, and like, I'm running out of time this year. So I have an idea. I have an idea for KloobySnacks Volume 2.
Mm-hmm.
And you were getting on the train the other day and the signal was getting shoddy and I didn't even get to communicate it to you. Should I save it for us and let's talk about it and then come out with it, or should I unleash the idea right now?
I think we should talk about it first and then you unleash it. But I think that just saying that there is an idea and potential is enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
That creates a little cliffhanger. So hopefully Isabella comes back and is a regular attendee, because oh my God, I was concerned about my ability to host a session tonight because of my condition, but it's been wonderful. It's been perfect. No, seriously, this is the truth be told to everybody out there who's watching the live stream, even on LinkedIn and everything. I did a talk for Xerox sales team earlier in the year, and they said, we're not going to pay you money, but we have these Padres tickets. So like you can see like the wristband around, it's all you can eat, all you can drink in the Padres next to the owner's suite. And I'm like, I can't just have one bite, because then I didn't get paid a whole lot for my speaking. I had to eat as much and drink as much as possible to believe that I got paid as much for I'm like, I'm drinking $16,000 worth of beer today to make sure that I got paid $16,000 for my speaking. Anyway, no. Truth be told, it was significantly less than that. But my point is, I had to take a nap before our session today to make sure I was, and it was just wonderful. Isabella, thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you so much for thinking. Well, thank you for thinking of me. This is the second time, truth be told, the second time I've been interviewed for this JMS project, right? And guess what the first time was, Abby? Do you know who the first person was to interview me for this project?
Who?
It was your brother's girlfriend. Yeah, Dunya interviewed me for this project a year ago today, and we talked about KloobySnacks, but you got a better interview, Isabella. No offense, not because, no difference, but you've got the benefit of, like, when I was interviewed last year, we hadn't even done the live streams yet. We were creating the book. I was like, remember how I was a year ago right now in your class? I'm like, you guys, I'm excited. I can't contain myself. I just see the enormity and the value of what we're working on, and I can't contain myself. She interviewed me then. You are interviewing me after we have 38 live streams in the book, after we're already #1 bestseller, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I'm done. Good night. Thank you so much. Unless anybody else has any last comments, I
got nothing. It's bedtime over here.
Okay, yeah. You're 3 hours ahead. All right, thank you, Isabella, for bringing us together in a unique way tonight. And you're absolutely welcome to come back the next 13 weeks of the year, of course. And if you needed me to proofread anything before you submit final, let me know. Otherwise, go Aztecs, San Diego State Aztecs. Even though I'm wearing a Fordham shirt tonight, I'm an Aztec through and through. No Aztecs left behind. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in for another edition of KloobySnacks. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.